Welcome back to MyJoogTV. We're here at Adams County Winery and we're waiting for the Skyla Burrell Blues Band to just finish setting up. Can't wait for that show. They're a really hard-driving rock and blues band, and they always put on a great show. So while they're setting up out here, we decided to come into the tasting room here and take a look at some of the wines they have. And if you recall our first two episodes, we visited wineries that specialize in creating dry wines, usually from grapes people are pretty familiar with, Bordeaux, Rhone varieties such as Syrah, Viognier, Cabs, and Merlot. But there's a Cabernet here, and there's actually Chardonnay right here. But if you look at these wines, it's a lot of different things. Case point this one, Sweet Catawba. Catawba, what is that? Here's a Gettysburg, obviously paying tribute to the region, but this is made from the Niagara grape. That's the stuff my son's been drinking when he stopped breastfeeding. Majestic, that's Cayuga, some Traminette. The whole set here of just fruit wines. Some of my wine friends back home, they'd be pretty appalled by this selection. But obviously this tasting room has been busy all day, so they're doing something right here. So when we go out today, we're going to find out, are Pennsylvania wine drinkers, are they loving life, or are they singing the blues?
Well, my lover man knows how to treat me right, but I ain't seen her in a fortnight. No, it just ain't right.
So welcome back again. We're sitting here with John Cram, who's co-owner here of Adams County Winery. And John, we were inside and we're looking at the wide array of wines that you have. And you have everything. You have the dry to the semi-dry to the off-dry to the sweet, semi-sweet, sweet, and then the different grape varieties. You have your vinifera, your native, you have hybrids, you have fruit wines. Mm-hmm. What's the rationale behind having all those different types of wines?
Well, the rationale is not everybody likes the same wine. One of the things we found out very early is that 90% of Americans drink a sweet wine. Of course, the other 10% make fun of those people. Mm-hmm. But I can do math. So we make some sweet wines for those people. And I prefer the drier wines, so we make those for me. Mm-hmm. We just have a nice array available for people.
That's good. Actually, one theory I was thinking about driving up here, because you've been around for 35 years?
The winery's been here for about that long. We've had it for 12 years.
Okay. So I'm almost thinking just as the winery grows, you don't want to have the same wines year to year, so you introduce new brands every year, and then you get some customer loyalty and you don't discontinue the old wines.
We do that very judiciously. We take a look at sales records. If something is not selling, we will consider dropping it. And if we get a good price on a grape, we might add something temporarily. Mm-hmm. But typically we're sticking with about 17 wines.
Mm-hmm. So the reason why we're here today is that during the summer, the winery offers a summer concert series. And at least this year, it could be from past years, 3 times you have the Skyla Burrell Blues Band.
That's
playing.
Correct.
So what attracts you to them to have them come for 3 times?
Have you looked at this lady? They are very talented musicians. They're very good. They draw a nice crowd. I love the blues, and these people play the best blues I've seen this side of New Orleans. So that's why we have them. They actually filled in on very short notice for us a couple weeks ago, and we were very glad to have that happen.
So this will be the 4th time that you've played here then?
Oh, no, this is
summer.
the 3rd time. They were scheduled for the first act and the last. Somebody could not make it, and they were able to fill in for us, and we were pleased. Just a good band, and we love having their crowd pleasers.
So that's good. So one thing I was thinking is you sort of risk overexposure. You've had them here a couple times, and people say, oh, they're playing here again. I've already seen them.
We mix it up, and of course they are very popular, so they're all over the East Coast. And they do a lot of traveling, so we're not afraid of the overexposure because we do schedule people judiciously. I think they understand that, and we understand that.
Well, good. Well, let me introduce the band. We have Skyla, Mark, Izelle, and Christine. And in the introduction I did earlier, I sort of simplified things and just referred to you as a hard-driving blues band. Obviously, that's a simplification. How would you guys describe yourself?
Well, we play 100% original material. And we work the road about 200 days a year up and down the East Coast out to the Midwest trying to, just push our originals. So we're on our 4th CD and, our style is hard driving, house rocking, but sometimes that's a little cliche, you just kind of have to see the show. It's very high energy. We're not the kind of band that It's going to play like slow blues after slow blues. You're lucky if you get one from us in a set, you know. So we try to keep the energy up, and we try to focus on quality musicianship and quality songwriting and putting on a good show.
So who are some of the influences that you guys had?
Magic Slim, Muddy Waters, Buddy Guy, Howlin' Wolf, all the
Freddie
Kings.
King, all the Kings.
All the Kings, yes. So I did notice in reading your bios that your father was a jazz player, so you had a steady stream of musicians coming into your house.
Yeah. Almost every day he'd have a jam at the house, and he'd be playing drums, and the upright bass and horns would be around.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And Skyla, you're from the West Coast, so did you have any influences of, say, like Rod Piazza or Little Charlie?
No, actually, when I moved, I first discovered the blues at 19 at a horse show in Arizona. We were coming back, because I used to work at horse stables. We were coming back, and they turned on this radio station, and there was B.B. King, and I sat out in the car all night for hours until the radio was done. And at that time, I hadn't discovered Rod Piazza or any of those classic West Coast guys until I actually moved out to the East Coast. Go figure, you know? So it's great. We actually did a show a couple weeks ago at the Riverfront Blues Fest with some the Delta Groove harp explosion, harp blast, harp explosion. Yeah, so it was great to get to, you know, rub elbows with those guys.
That's good. So you guys have obviously found a home here, and I know you have a regular residency at another winery that's nearby here. So what's your exposure to wines? I mean, you guys are regular drinkers?
I enjoy my wine. I enjoy my dry white wines.
So
I like the Chardonnay.
So you and John share
the
so you make your dry wines for yourself and for
People
Skyla.
like Skyla.
I would
People
prefer
like me.
dry wine.
Yeah.
You drink the reds though too once
I
in a while,
drink the
yeah?
reds,
You
yeah.
like some heavies. What about you, Christine?
Usually sweet, red wine.
So you're the market for this place.
So we got all four. What about you, MT?
Usually a red wine for me is best.
So let's talk about the specific wines that we have. The first one we're trying is the Tears of Gettysburg, which is made from the Niagara grape. And actually, I made a comment, this is my son's favorite. This is usually made into your standard grape juice, white grape juice.
It is.
Wow.
Tears of Gettysburg is our most popular wine, and we keep a steady stock on it. It is a sweeter wine. It is too sweet for my personal taste, but again, it's our most popular. It's got 3 grapes in it. Niagara is one. We also have 2 other hybrid grapes in there, and it's just a nice, sweet, honey-like sort of wine. It's got some overtones of some other things. It's just
delicious.
a touch of grapefruit. But it's just a nice sipping wine. People seem to love it.
Yeah, no, actually I enjoy it. How do you make a sweeter wine? I know you either could, 2 possible methods is the one you don't ferment it as long, and so the yeast doesn't eat the natural grape sugars, or you actually take sugar and dump it in.
In California, they get grapes sweet enough on the vine that they can stop the fermentation, just like you were describing. Out here, we don't get as much sunshine, although this year was a fantastic year for the grapes. We're expecting some very high sugar content, so we might be able to do that. We have to rely on sweetening the wine with sugars.
So is it just regular table sugar, or is it a syrup?
No, we can use either fructose or sucrose. We use fructose because it dissolves much better, and it doesn't leave a kind of a bitter aftertaste. Like sucrose is your standard table sugar. Fructose comes from sugar beets.
Yeah. Now with the hybrids in the native Niagara, you got a pretty fertile area out here. Can they grow by themselves without rootstock?
We use rootstock for the sole purpose of disease control and for taking advantage of the natural soil that we have here. We have found that using the right rootstock helps prevent some diseases, helps encourage vigor, and so we do use grafted rootstock.
Okay.
We do here. There are others that don't, and that's fine. You make your own decision.
Well, let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll drink up, and we'll pour the next one.